Yeah, so obviously not knowing what my future is with the NFL, at a certain point you kind of contract wise, like they can go get a rookie for a lot less, and he has the same amount of experience as me. Is kind of what I've been told. That's what ends up happening to you if you have a clock to play. So don't know that that'll happen again. Would love for it to. Just don't know that it's in the cards. Um, would really love to continue to play football in the USFL and the XFL. Won't like divulge too much information, but they were paying me a lot different than everybody else to play in those leagues. So I was getting a premium contract to play with them. And after the first year in the USFL, they came back and said, we're not going to honor the second year of this, uh,
Hmm.
which is I'm kind of confused about what the hell contracts are because like it seems like the people that make the fucking things can just back out whenever the hell they want,
Yeah.
but like I have to honor them. So like I'm kind of confused about like this whole contract thing. It's like this unspoken thing of like football, like you can back out whenever you want, but I can't. So don't know what the deal is with that. But they said they weren't all the money was just going to be paying everybody the same. So that's why I went to the XFL. XFL offered me a premium contract to do that. And then yeah, so I guess where I'm going with this, I went to the Stallions pretty beat up, knee beat up, shoulder beat up, pretty hurt. I feel relatively okay right now. But they told me I wasn't going to play with the Stallions, and I was like, okay, I'll just kind of collect like whatever the $60,000 or whatever it was for the 10 games, and which isn't bad, but like if that's all you do for the year, like in 3 months time, that's really good. But if that's all you ever end
Yeah.
up doing, then 60 grand, 60 grand. So my point and not shitting on 60 grand, but it's a lot of money. But my point is where I'm at right now in my career, I'm not really interested in like breaking my legs and breaking my shoulder and breaking my hand and tearing my groin and all the things that I've done over the last year and a half for that amount of money. It's not necessarily like, for lack of a better word, worth it for me at that point. So I am trying to get into some of these analytic things where I want to get into the YouTube stuff. I talked about being able to try to do that myself. I would love to be able to, at this point in my life, I don't, I'm gonna hard to, I don't know what I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't want to say it. But I would love to be able to monetize this in a way that
Makes
allows
sense.
me to be a very hands-on dad one day. Would love to be able to educate people in football in my way. I think that's the passion that I have is I really want to help people understand like what they're seeing on Sundays in their favorite players, why they say the things they do. Um, but I don't want to have to like people say like, why don't you go be a coach? And it's like I said, my dad was always there for me. It meant a lot having him at every game, and I see the life that those coaches live. And especially if you're in college, you are the recruit. Like in the pros, you have scouts. They go do a lot of that work, and then you get the tail end of it and like approve. Like they have 300 guys that they go through, and then they bring you 20. So then you can do it from a desk. But like so, NFL is a little bit different. The days are crazy. I would say NFL coaches probably have 2-ish months off and the rest of the year on. In college, you have a week off. So
Ooh.
for me, coaching, unless I'm doing like high school, and I think that's why like your Brett Favre's and guys like that, like just do high school to stay around the game because college and NFL is way too much time. I mean, you don't even get to be a dad. I mean, people are missing the birth of their kids. They don't get to be a husband. I want to be there for all those things. So I really think that if I can monetize this YouTube stuff in a way that allows me to kind of be financially free and be able to do that from home, be a hands-on dad, and educate people the way that I want to in the game, I think that's kind of the way that I'm leaning. But also like to do some analyst stuff, like maybe on TV, things like that. But then you also get into sports are played on the weekends and you're missing your kids' games, things like that. So hard to know. That's kind of why I want to do it my own way with this. So,
Yeah.
um, trying to get into some YouTube stuff, trying to get into a little bit of a Twitter presence. I just got a TikTok for the first time because all these kids freaking told me I had to get a TikTok, and I don't want China having all my information, but now they do, so I'm screwed. So I might as well lean into it. Um, so I just got TikTok for the first day, and weirdly enough, got a call from Japan. My screen just said Japan. And then I got another call from
Like
Russia.
clockwork.
So if I end up dead, Japan and Russia are calling me, and all my phone says when it rings is Russia. It's like the scariest thing ever. I'm like, what the hell am I doing that Russia's calling me?
What the fuck
Putin's on the
does
line.
Russia want with me? Like,
I'm like, Putin's on the line. He's heard all this shit I've been talking. So yeah, guys.
well, yeah, I think, I mean, it seems like there's a niche there. Because there's players working in the media space, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot doing like the analytic break, like in play-by-play breakdowns, like you are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it always, no,
Oh,
go
go
for
ahead.
it.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it always amazes me because I feel like I have a good idea what's going on, and I'm at like level 3, and then I hear people like you talk about it, and you're level like 6,
Yeah.
like mentioning so casually things I would not even ever think about.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily a hard concept. It's just concepts that people don't know, and there was things that I didn't know. Like I went into the NFL not knowing anything. Like I had to learn. Like everyone thinks that like, oh, you learned football like your whole life. Like high school, they told me to drop back, and I literally knew who was running what route, and that was about it. And then you go to college, and I learned, okay, these are the routes they're running, and this is your protection. Like this is how they're blocked, like which offensive linemen are blocking who, and that was it. And then you get to the NFL, and it's like, how do you read defenses, and how to get these tells on when guys are pressuring, and how to change your offensive protections, and how to. I mean, it's just it goes from. I mean, you talk about like say level 3, 6, whatever. I would say 0 is knowing absolutely nothing. When I left college, I probably was at like a 3, and I would say now probably at like a 9. Like I'm not gonna ever say a 10 because you can learn more and more and more. But yeah, I'm trying to take an approach. I think the thing that pushed me into this it was my USFL experience because I had a lot of people in the media talking about interceptions because I had like 10 touchdowns and 12 interceptions or whatever it was, but won the USFL all USFL quarterback or whatever, which is a pure vote. And my point was when people asked about that, I had 7 interceptions that were like deflections, flipped up in the air, getting hit in the back while throwing. Like I had 3 interceptions all year that were like thrown poor balls or poor decisions. The rest were like, hey, I got smoked in the back and the ball flew up. I mean, we were playing the Gamblers one game, and I'm supposed to have 4 touchdowns, and like guy falls down in the end zone because he gets tripped, and they don't throw the flag, and the guy that trips him ends up wheeling around and picking the ball off. I'm like, and then you have all these stat watchers that are like, Kyle Schloter sucks. You can't even play in the USFL, and I'm like, dude, go. The reason I wanted to do this was because there's not enough people in media standing up for like players doing the right things that just end up in shit situations, and a lot of the times that's the quarterback. So everybody's like, Kirk Cousins sucks, Kirk Cousins sucks. But I'm sitting here like, okay, we just whiffed, the guard just whiffed, he's got a dude in his face, he has 0 time. I know all the routes that these guys are supposed to be running because the concepts, you can tell who's supposed to be running what, and his number 1 progression is running the wrong route. So he's looking in an area. So I'm like, but that's the things that 99% of everybody doesn't understand. So like that's the stuff that I want to shed light on like I said something about Justin Fields that blew up, that all these radio shows wanted me to come on for Chicago and talk about my Justin Fields take. Well, he's not playing great, but he's getting 0 help. He's getting 0 help. He's got no blocking. Receivers are getting zero separation. Guys running the wrong routes, guys in the wrong places. They're jumbled. You got one receiver here and another one right on his ass. So like those are the things that everyone just sees. Justin Fields taking sacks and Justin Fields throwing the ball poorly and but like I'm sitting here like you put Tom Brady in this system, he's gonna suck. He's gonna be terrible. Like you have to have help from other, everyone wants to act like the quarterback's the only guy that has to play well and you win. Like you got to have 10 other guys. If you have one guy on the offensive line routinely miss, it might not even be the same guy. If on 5 different plays, 5 different linemen miss their block, you're going to get sacked every time. So everyone on the team has to do the right thing, and everyone just wants to look at the quarterback. So what I wanted to do with all this was stand up for the right thing. The takes I wanted to say, even if I say so-and-so is not playing very well, that person should be able to watch the film and they're going to sit there and say, well, he's right. Like, I'm not going to do any clickbaity shit. Like I said something about Puka Nacua the other day that everybody lost their minds about. But like, I watched the film and like, he can't beat man. And the times that he did beat man were times where the guy was 10 yards off and he's running a shallow this way and the other guy's way over. The guy covering him is way. I mean, all he had to do was run straight. I could have had 70 yards in that game. And I'm like, you know what I mean? So and I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying like he's not elite. He's good. And everybody like lost their minds because I was like, I'll show you Cooper Kupp film and I'll show you Puka Nacua film and it looks completely different. Cooper Kupp is elite. He's top 2, top 3 receiver in the league. Puka Nacua is a good receiver too. So I just want to be truthful with all these takes. That's kind of where I'm going with all this stuff.